What's going on, everybody? In today's video I'm going to be reviewing Emma Frost and going through, is she an OP tank, is she useless, is it overhyped, how is she? Now in this video, as you can see in the gameplay, this is my first proper ranked game with Emma Frost. I've not been able to have much time with her because everyone, fucking insta-locks her and shit. This was one game where I, got to use her in ranked, because I can't really practice with her in quick play or even practice versus AI, as everyone insta-locks her. So, forgive me for, the sloppy gameplay, but this is the best I can provide for her. But, before we get into the details of Emma Frost, of how good she is or how bad she is, let me just say, even if you don't know what you're doing with her, she is still OP. And if you do know what you're doing with her, she's absolutely OP. She is a crazy character overall. So, this is my first tank that I've used in ranked. I've tried tanks a couple of times in quick play, but I've just never really found one where I can make myself useful with them. And I've always just stuck to using supports anyway, because no one, wants to be a healer. So I've never really got the chance to use a tank in ranked, to be honest with you. Even with DPS, I barely get to use them. But nevertheless, this is a review of Emma Frost. Now, a left click, let's start off with that. Very short range. I thought it was a lot longer, based on the trailers and the gameplay video. It's a lot shorter. And the damage is, overall, I'd say it's okay, it's moderate. It's not too OP, but it's not useless either. It's overall it's just pretty good. It's just bog standard average, a left click. I do wish it was a slight tad of longer range. That wasn't English, but fuck it. Yeah, a little bit more range on it, and I think it'd be perfect. Now let's move into a shield. So as you can see in this video, I'm throwing my shield all over the place and not really utilising it well, so forgive me for that. The one thing I didn't realise was to dictate where you want the shield to land, you've got to hold in the right click. I thought it was kind of like Sue Storm, where you just right click it and it will go anywhere, or you right click it and then it automatically travels until you click right click again to stop it. No, you just left click it and hold it in. Now the only thing, there's a couple of things about a shield I'm not a fan of. So firstly, the diamond shape, it's not good against people like Squirrel Girl, or as you can see the squids there, because obviously you've got them angles where they can just shoot through it, or shoot underneath it, sorry, and, still do damage to your character's feet. So, although it conceals you mostly, and it'll be good for, blocking people where they do extra damage for critical headshots, things like the squids or Squirrel Girl's stupid projectiles, it's not very useful in that respect. Now, in terms of the shield's durability, I think it's good. It's not too much, but it's not lackluster, if that makes sense. And as you can see there, I get absolutely robbed on that ult. Those stupid walls, I hate this map so much. But anyway, back to the shield. The health duration, I think it's just right in my opinion, and I hope they don't change it. But the shield overall, it's a bit of a one where you can't just throw it down anywhere and it works. It just, you need to, what's the word? You need to use your brain with it. You can't just flonk it down anywhere. And you have to, in my opinion, I feel like I need to adjust my mouse sensitivity on the shield itself, because trying to deploy it in the heat of the moment to get it to set up at an angle where it's useful, it's a little bit difficult at times. Maybe there's some settings in it, in the in-game settings. I've not actually looked yet, because I've not really had a chance to practice with it properly. Now, moving on from the shield, her E click, her ability, it's basically like Moon Knight's Onk, but a little bit more personal in terms of the character. I think it's good, but it's so easy to destroy from the enemy players. And also, if they go to a certain point away from you, like if they go so far out of range, it will just delete it anyway. That's from my understanding, I could be wrong, but I feel like that's what it's doing. I'm not actually too sure, so I've not had enough time with the character. So that's one thing you got to look out for, and it makes sense, and I'm okay with that, because that's where the difference between too OP and useless comes into play. And again, I think it's just on the little side of OP, nothing too crazy though. Now, her left shift, her diamond form. Obviously, it helps you against ults, which is, well, most ults anyway, such as Jeff the Landshot. You can't swallow you if you're in diamond form. I think that's great and very. It's overpowered, but it's not too overpowered, because it doesn't stop you from, you know, every ult. You can still die to a lot of characters' ults, so it's a nice mix. What else is there? The actual melee, the offensive capabilities of the left shift it's okay. Obviously a grab and a right kick is great for yeeting people off the map. And here's what I'll say: if you don't know what you're doing with her, you're not gonna get much out of her left shift. Simply because you do need to figure out a combo with it. I am gonna do that in the practicing range after this video, actually, as we speak. But if you make the right combo, then you'll instantly kill anyone with, well, not instantly, but you'll be able to seamlessly kill any DPS or healers around the 250 to 300 health range, no problem. Just like that, for example. Obviously, I am kind of just spamming the buttons in this video on my mouse and keyboard, but I feel like there's a combo there. Like you can just tell just from, you know, how it works, that there's definitely a combo that you need to be doing. And yeah, if you figure out that combo, then she's going to be insanely OP. As I said, as you can see, like, I'm clearly like dominating and doing my job as a tank, and I have no idea what I'm doing. Like, I won't lie to you, like, I'm still trying to figure out how to play as a tank. Like, as you can see, sometimes I push way too far in, sometimes I push way too far out. I play a bit scared sometimes, but yeah, that's just me getting used to the tank. So, like I said, don't take all this gameplay with a grain of salt, because you may have a different experience, especially if you are a tank player in general. I've seen some clips already of people absolutely dominating with Emma Frost, but, you know, using her a lot more appropriately, and their strategies making more sense. She is quite OP, but the big question is, she so OP, sorry, that she's completely broken, she's ruining the game, and there's no counters to her. No, I completely disagree. Like I said, even if you're good with her, you can still get countered by many things. Obviously, here's another thing as well, her ult, which I forgot to mention. Her ult, very useful, very great, but if you use it wrong, it's useless. And also, it doesn't stop everything, even though it does stop ults, but it doesn't stop everything. And I think that's where the difference between OP and broken and just OP differentiates with this character. You can do a lot with this character, but you're not completely indestructible, invincible, and just, you're not OP to the point that the enemy team's just screwed if you're using her. Because they're not, you can still easily be countered, and it still requires. Here's the thing: she's not a brain dead character. Let me say that. She does hold your hand a little bit in terms of the OPness, but she's not completely brain dead like Squirrel Girl. Like, you still need a bit of tech and brain cells to get the most out of her and to make her an actual threat. That's the point I am making there. And I think there's a little more to say. Well, we'll go through the team up abilities. Obviously, I can't show any of that off in this gameplay because, unfortunately, no one wanted to be Magneto or Psylocke. The clones, again, used if your teammates use them right, it is very OP, and it's game changing in some elements. But if you're using it wrong, it's still alright. It's still useful. It's still good, but you're not getting the most out of it. And that's just Emma Frost overall. You get the most out of her if you use your brain. If you don't, you'll still have fun and a good time with her, but you're not going to be maxing her full potential. I think it's the best way to put it. But yeah, her team up abilities, are very useful. Again, even if you do know how to use them, they're not quite OP and broken, but they're OP enough to make a difference, is I think it's the best way to put it. And let's go over... One thing I wanted to add with a left click is her reload speed is pretty good. It's kind of meh. It's not too fast, not too slow. I love that she has 70 ammo, but at the same time, you look at 70 and think, oh, easy. That's great. Like you'll never run out of ammo, or you'll be able to kill someone in that time. The fire rate is quite drastic. And there's been plenty of times where I've gone, alright, easy, I'm just going to left click this guy to death, go to town on him. And then the heals start healing the enemy, and then next minute I need to reload him, and that's where the fight kind of changes. So don't take the number and look at it as like, oh yeah, I'm good, I can just go to town with a left click. You've still got to use it wisely and use your brain with it. If that makes sense. Apart from that, I think I've covered everything with Emma Frost. I do intend to make more gameplay videos of her. If I discover any combos, tips or tricks in general, I will definitely make them into a video and show them off to you guys. Not the one to gatekeep. I want everyone to learn this character and become good with them. Especially since, you know, despite all the Gooner things aside, a lot more people are trying to use tanks now. And, you know, that's a great change overall. But apart from that, guys, I hope you did enjoy the video. If you did, like and subscribe. Put in the comments, do you agree with my takes? Have you tried Emma Frost? Is there anything I missed? And yeah, guys, that's it from me. Catch you all later.